Everyone, this is Sakshi. You're watching Inventara, and this is the crucial hour at 8, news from 8 to 8. Looking at the national news, dengue outbreak in Delhi as 240 cases reported so far, hospitals and infrastructure remain overwhelmed as the number of dengue cases in the city rises. Over 240 dengue cases have been reported so far. The national capital also reported its first death this year to dengue, and cases are on the rise, with 382 of the 723 patients in 2021 detected in October alone, according to a weekly report by municipal authorities. The Delhi Municipal Corporation said that they are taking due precautions and measures to curb the spread of the disease. They have been conducting surveys and fogging areas which are reported dengue cases. Feels like winning war, says one of 39 women army officers who got permanent commission. The Supreme Court ordered the central government on Friday to ensure that 39 of the 71 female army officers received permanent commissions within 7 working days. The 71 officers filed a Supreme Court petition demanding a permanent commission from the central government. It has been a physically and emotionally exhausting fight for dignity, respect, acceptance, and most importantly, equality for these female officers who dared to confront the government and the organization, the Indian Army, in which they had hoped to serve as young girls. Thinking farm policy need of ours, says Varun Gandhi's comment on crop burning. Today, BJP MP Varun Gandhi posted a video of an Uttar Pradesh farmer setting fire to his crop after failing to sell it, writing that the need of the hour is to rethink agriculture policy. Where have the farmers gone? He exclaimed. Despite people attempting to stop him, a person can be seen in the video setting fire to the crop. Varun Gandhi identified the farmer as Samod Singh, who has been going from mandi to mandi for the last 15 days in an attempt to sell his crop, but has been unsuccessful. Security meeting headed by Amit Shah begins in Srinagar on Friday. A security review meeting chaired by Union Home Minister Amit Shah began at Raj Bhavan in Srinagar. The meeting takes place against the backdrop of a spate of killings in the valley in October. 11 civilians were killed in the attack, including 5 non-locals. Senior army, police, BSF and intelligence officers are present at the meeting. The senior officers will brief Shah on the latest situation in Jammu and Kashmir, particularly along the line of control, as well as the steps being taken to prevent militants from killing civilians. In the first 3 weeks of October, police have killed 17 terrorists in various operations in Kashmir. Supreme Court seeks centre's response on bail plea of former Jharkhand minister. Supreme Court has requested the centre's response to former Jharkhand minister Anosh Ekka's bail application after he was convicted and sentenced to 7 years in prison in a money laundering case. Noting Goa's contribution to the country's economy, Prime Minister Narendra Modi on Saturday said that Goa is a key centre of India's tourism. Addressing the Atmanirbhar Bharat Swayambhurna Goa program, PM Modi said, Goa is a key centre of India's tourism and thus in India's economy. In the last few years, we have given every form of support to promote tourism and hospitality. The central government has also supported Goa for the development of tourism hubs. Jammu-Srinagar National Highway shut due to heavy rains. The Jammu and Kashmir Traffic Police on Saturday informed that Jammu-Srinagar National Highway, the key all-weather road linking Kashmir with the rest of the country, has been closed due to landslides in Ramban and Udhampur areas. These landslides have been triggered by heavy rain. Moving on to the international news, US nearing to formalize deal with Pakistan for using its airspace for military operations in Afghanistan. The United States, which completed its troop withdrawal from Afghanistan on August 30, a day before a self-announced deadline to exit that country, is nearing an agreement with Pakistan to continue its military operations in the war-torn nation. The Biden administration has informed US lawmakers, according to a report. Brazilian President Bolsonaro to attend G20 summit in Italy. President Jair Bolsonaro has confirmed his participation in the G20 summit. the presidential administration said in a statement late on Friday. Brazilian Foreign Minister Carlos Alberto Franca and Economy Minister Paulo Guedes will also join the country's delegation at the event, the office added. The Brazilian delegation intends to give the highest priority to discussions on the development of bioenergy and other renewable resources. The Italian capital will host the G20 summit from October 30 to 31st. China announces curbs to control fresh COVID-19 outbreak. China is currently experiencing a spurt in its daily infections of the coronavirus disease or COVID-19 as an outbreak traced to a group of tourists has led to authorities imposing a range of restrictions to bring the situation under control. Adobe warns workers to get vaccinated by December 8 deadline. US companies are giving notice to employees as they seek to comply with orders from President Joe Biden requiring federal contractors to have all staff vaccinated by the December deadline. The government is also drawing up rules for businesses with 100 or more employees to require vaccines or test unvaccinated staff at least once a week. The White House is set to issue additional guidelines shortly. North Koreans facing food shortage collapses in livelihoods. UN investigates North Koreans are facing food shortages and collapses in their livelihoods, with the most vulnerable lot being children and elderly people who are at risk of starvation, Thomas Oj Quintana told the General Assembly's Human Rights Committee. He also highlighted the extent of hunger in political prison camps. Russia authorizes simultaneous vaccination against COVID-19 influenza. Russia, which is currently facing an increased spread of the coronavirus disease or COVID-19, authorized simultaneous vaccination against COVID-19 and influenza. Russia's health ministry has authorized simultaneous vaccination against COVID-19 and influenza as corresponding changes have been made to the instructions for Russia's health ministry has authorized simultaneous vaccination against COVID-19 and influenza as corresponding changes have been made to the instructions for the medical use of the GAM-COVID-Vac or Sputnik V vaccine, the health ministry's press service said in a statement. The Ministry of Electronics and IT has filed an affidavit in the WhatsApp case. They have stated that WhatsApp is a commercial entity that exists from foreign soil, therefore challenging the confidentiality of the Indian Constitution is not maintainable. Redmi Watch 2 to come with AMOLED display, likely to have 3 color options. Redmi Watch 2 will debut alongside Redmi Note 11 series on October 28. The smartwatch has been confirmed to sport an AMOLED display and a larger screen than the previous model. It is likely to be available in 3 colors. The GST Authority for Advanced Rulings or AAR Maharashtra bench has denied a private company's plea, stating that it was not the supplier of goods or services but rather the recipient. To file an advanced ruling application, 2 conditions must be met, which includes first and foremost, the query should pertain to the applicant's supply. Second, the issue should pertain to the applicant's provision of products or services or both, being conducted or proposed to be undertaken, both of which USV situated in Mumbai failed to meet. Minister of State Muralidharan meets with South Sudan's first Vice President to discuss trade and business connections. V. Muralidharan, the Union Minister of State for External Affairs, met with Dr. Riek Machar Tenai Durgon, the first Vice President of South Sudan, to discuss commercial and investment connections between the 2 countries. India will retaliate if unjust trade regulations are imposed, according to Industry Minister Piyush Goyal. Piyush Goyal, India's Commerce and Industry Minister, said on Friday that several non-tariff barriers need to be addressed and that whenever India is subjected to unfair trade practices, it will respond in kind. Non-tariff trade barriers are restrictive practices that obstruct the free flow of imports and exports. From FY23, the RBI would cap NBFC IPO capital at Rs 1 crore per borrower. New central bank guidelines may limit the amount of money accessible to high net worth individuals or HNIs for IPO bidding. When the new loan limitations are implemented, leveraged bidding, which entails abandoning stocks, following listing profits and repaying the financier may decrease. Razorpay collaborates with MasterCard, RuPay, and Visa to create tokenization solution. Razorpay, a fintech firm, introduced a new tokenization solution for businesses on Friday that will give their end customers the convenience of stored card transactions while also increasing security and adhering to RBI requirements. According to a release, the Razorpay Token HQ will function with all major card networks including MasterCard, RuPay, and Visa. And nearly all of Razorpay's 5 million businesses will be able to enable tokenized card transactions. Even with a dream job, you can be anti-work. The world's long-suffering workers have finally gained some power over their bosses, and their newfound power is a glorious sight to behold. 10,000 of union members in South Korea staged a one-day strike this week to demand better benefits and protections for temporary and contract workers. In Britain, where Brexit has contributed to severe shortages of goods and labour, Prime Minister Boris Johnson has claimed dubious credit for what he calls a new era of higher pay. This is Sakshi from Inventiva Studios signing off. Till then, good night, and do subscribe to our channel for daily updates.